Hi, YouTube. What I have in front of you right now is the Phase 2 Ford EAT out of a 99 Subaru Forester. I've got a couple of Subarus. I've got an Outback, a newer Outback, and then I've got my 99 Forester, which I typically drive. The wife gets the newer car. And I had a transmission go out on me about 4 months ago at this point, and I went ahead and swapped out that transmission with one that I got at a salvage yard. There was some very helpful stuff on there, on YouTube, but there were a few things that weren't mentioned that I thought, well, maybe if someone's doing a Forester, this might help them. And basically, to get it out, you've got to take these out. Okay, those bolts. You have to take the starter off. You have to unhook the little thing that holds it from here to the back of the car there. Okay, the rear drive shaft, it pulls right out. That just pops out real easy. It's just on those back wheels. You've got to spin the drive shaft so that you can get them all out. But fortunately, they come out pretty slick. Okay. This part right here was kind of a pain just because of how tight it is. And that's where the shifter comes through and that holds it. And then it comes and shifts here. Now, it was a pain in the rear to get this little rubber piece off of the shifter here because that baby was rusted on there. It's only been on for 13 years, 14 years. And, yeah, it was a bit of a pain. Okay. One of the things I will advise you is that if you're going to do this, there's a few things that you're really going to need besides, a few metric wrenches and sockets, is that you need a good pry bar because, let me tell you, to break the seal right here between the transmission and the engine was a pain in the butt, okay? What I actually had to do was kind of hammer down a little bit here and there to try to get it to start to crack, and once I got it to crack, it slid right out, but that was really a pain. Okay, and one of the other things was a pain in the rear, and this is where I kind of had a mistake, is when I put the new one in, okay, I wasn't careful enough to watch how far back this rod was in, okay? That's really got to be back in there. It really has to be back in there. If it's not far, I literally took a hammer and tapped on it just to make sure that once I felt like it was seated, I tapped it down in there deep just to make sure it was all the way back. And then when you get that torque converter on there, that baby's almost flush with this lip right here. Okay, that's how you really know. And obviously, if you spin it, you'll see the little gears and stuff here kind of spin. But more importantly, it feels tight. It doesn't feel real loose. If it feels real loose, you've got a problem. Okay, it's got to feel real kind of tight, and it's got to kind of, it's got to feel right. It's got to feel like it's a car, not, too easily, not like a go-kart. All right, and one of these days, I guess I'm going to probably look at, I don't know, my son is 15. I think what's going to happen is that this car is going to become his. And I'm wondering, okay, should I maybe part out this transmission? Should I just recycle it? Should I fix it so that he'll have it, so we can kind of run the car on the ground? What should we do? I haven't decided yet, but I will say that the car runs excellent. It's a nice looking little car. It's not all beat up and scratched up and stuff. It actually looks decent still. And it's good on gas. I drive it 80 miles both ways a day. Well, it's 40 miles one way. Okay, so I live in Wisconsin. We get a lot of snow, get a lot of ice, a lot of cold weather. The car does not park in the garage. It's always outside on the street and starts right up. It's always ready to go. I do have to let it warm up a bit. It's got that typical Subaru knock when it's cold, and also even the transmission that's in it was still used, and if it doesn't warm up a little bit, it'll kind of grab a little bit. It's kind of jumpy. Once it warms up, it's fine. but it's still better than the transmission. This one right here. And the first signs with this one is the gears started to slip on it. Especially when you take off the first couple miles there, it seemed like the gears would slip in and out, but then once it warmed up, it was fine. Well, I think it was my fault that it broke the camel's back on that. I put in too much fluid, and that seemed like it did it. Now, the replacement transmission that I put in, it actually did seem like it was a little slippy at first, and then I put in half a jar of this TransTune by Seafoam, with some brand new transmission fluid, and I did it. I flushed it out once, and then put that stuff in there with the new Seafoam there, and it seemed to me like it completely stopped. So check that stuff out. I bought that at a place here in Wisconsin called Menards. It's like $7 or $8 or something. It's not too bad. And I guess that's it. Any questions? Trust me, I did everything the hard way. So if you have any questions on your '99 Subaru Forester, let me know. Thanks. Bye.